Is it ridiculous in any way to talk about Manny Diaz and his job security?
Yes.
I, for one, think it is.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I know that, one of our contributors did write, if asked the question if he's on the hot seat earlier this year. And it is not necessarily improving with the play on the field, but no, it's not. It's not. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, Blake James, unfortunately, the athletic director did come out this week, 7 games into his initial season as head coach, not just at Miami, but anywhere, that he supports Manny Diaz. The players have had to, been asked about it, had to come out and say it and things like that. Yeah. So there are those things, but I don't think that it is at all appropriate at this time to talk about his job security right now. And before I go on, I saw somebody ask about Gabe Taylor, Sean Taylor's younger brother, who's a senior at Gulliver Prep right now, if Miami is recruiting him. Not currently, which is why it's kind of getting this social media groundswell because he has 5 interception returns for touchdowns. But look at Gulliver Prep's schedule. Like, they haven't necessarily played great teams. But, he's playing well. And there's something to be said for that. If he really wants to be a collegiate football player, then maybe down the line, if there's a last scholarship spot, we can maybe evaluate, maybe through the course of the season. And I haven't really watched him or evaluated or anything, so I can't really sit here and say definitively yes or no or blah, blah, blah. But I just saw that somebody asked about that. So why aren't we on him? You could ask that about any number of teams. And I get that we asked that because, we're Miami and his brother was a legend here, and things like that. But yeah, that's the answer I have.
Got a question for you, Cam. So I'm going to go A to B to C, and then you give me the result of what makes sense and what doesn't here. So we've talked about the recruiting rankings, and the talent currently on the roster has been rated anywhere from about, I think, 8th in the country was Mark Richt's first or second class to I think 28th was the worst rated class that would currently be on the roster in that range. So maybe an aggregate of about 15th in the country, something in that range, low teens, 15 somewhere. So the easy translation would be that they should be about the 15th to 20th best team in the country. Then you factor in the schedule, which is pretty light. So maybe they should outperform that 15th to 20th best team in the nation, maybe to 8 to 12 in the nation. And again, the season's not over yet, and we'll see how it plays out. So is all this on? So we're looking at a performance thus far, and let me know how you feel about this. So we've got 130 FBS teams. We've got about 65 to 70 in the Power 5. Just the way, not looking at talent, just results on the field, results and performance on the field, I would rate them to be the 60th best team in the country.
If not lower.
Has the coaching been that poor? Because that's what it points to.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And this is, it's funny, when we write an article or have an opinion, or I tweet something from the State of the U Twitter account, people want to jump on that as though it's a single source, or as though that's the only point of conversation, I should say. The blame for this, it's a big enough burger where everybody can get a bite. The coaches, the players, just the game situations. There's not really anybody who's doing the job to the standard. Is there some player development that's been seen? Sure. Again, Robert Knowles. Look at the offensive line. Again, they're not great. But again, even being bad is an improvement from the terrible that we saw at the beginning of the year. You get John Campbell, who works in at left guard with Navon Donaldson because Campbell is playing better. And also Navon Donaldson has not been playing great. So you open up the opportunity for someone else to develop. There are some things to like. We do still have talent. We still have You know, Cam Harris had a career rushing day. DJ Dallas has been a good running back this year. You know, when he's on the field, Jeff Thomas, KJ Osborne, Brevin Jordan, you know, Gregory Rousseau is a revelation. You know, there are things to like. Yet and still, nobody's doing their job and doing the job to the standard, because if they were, then we would be winning games. But also, I think it's coming to the point where you have a lot of individuals making mistakes at different times. And I will put it to you like this. When I was a music teacher, there was a video, and I keep looking for it, and I want to find it, of what a 90 sounds like in music. Because if you have a choir or a band and you have 100-something people making music together, and let's just round numbers, say that everybody has 1,000 notes in a song that they need to perform accurately. And that's the volume, that's the pitch, that's the tempo, that's the duration for how long that note lasts. So you have, and you know, whatever, there's other concerns as well, but I won't even get into that. But let's just say you have 1,000 notes and you miss 100 of them. That's a 90%. Now, if everybody in the room singing or playing misses a different 100, that 90%, which is an A in math, will sound like dog shit. You know? And so the pursuit, I've always said, is perfection and nothing less, because you have to go for that 99.99999 performance rating on accuracy for it to be appropriate. That's the thing that I think is going on this field. Is everybody making a mistake on the same play? No. But are there different people making mistakes every single play? Yes. And those mistakes are what are being taken advantage of, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. So while you might look at one player and say, hey, out of your 1,000 assignments today, you only missed 100. That's a 90% grade. That's fantastic. But if you patch them across the entire team and all the assignments from alignment, assignment, technique, employment, or engagement on the field, and everybody, DJ Ivy on that fake punt, everybody did what they needed to do on that fake punt, except for who? DJ Ivy. Why? Because you saw the guy run by him. So for that, you have 10 out of 11 doing their execution. That's what? 91% of the defense on it. But that one person ruins it for everybody. And I think that that's really what's going on. It's not necessarily we're coming out there and nobody on defense has any clue and everybody loses their one-on-one matchup. They don't do it. It is key errors at key times by key people who are being targeted by the opposing team. And that's what is keeping this team from greatness. And it just needs to, I mean, not even from greatness, from being 500. You know, I mean, if we want to be perfectly honest, look, 6-6, 5-7 is a major, or sorry, 7-5 is a major win from where we are right now.
I rarely bring up my day job, but along the same lines, in the television industry, at the level at which we work at my place of employment, they go by the 5 nines rule, meaning accuracy at 99.999% of the time. Mm-hmm. And we actually go through all sorts of algorithms to chronicle that in regards to the number of breaks, the number of punches by operators. So if you actually watched television and it was accurately executed 99% of the time, you would think it was atrocious, because you'd be watching, you'd see a camera move like every few minutes, or you'd see the station go to bars or go to black for 4 seconds or 14 seconds. It would look atrocious. And you'd be like, well, they're running at 99% accuracy. That the standard needs to be a lot higher than that.
That's what I'm saying, you know, and I just use round numbers as going for 90, but even at 99%, dude, I mean, and again, like, I'm a trained musician, whatever. Think of your favorite song and think of 1% of that music being performed incorrectly. You know, whatever it is, it could be Whitney Houston, it could be Backstreet Boys, it could be like whatever, Led Zeppelin. I mean, like, that would make such a big difference. And for Miami, like, on the field, we need to, I mean, from what we're seeing, that 99% would be such a vast improvement from what we're seeing. But I think to the original question way back when, before I went on that diatribe, the blame for the shortcoming and the shortfalls, it goes everywhere. It goes to the coaches, it goes to the administration, it goes to the players, it goes to the the training staff, it goes to the nutrition, it goes to the weight room, it goes there. The way that Miami is performing on the field is not insular. It is not singular. It is not one person making one mistake, getting one penalty, missing one tackle. It is widespread. And I know that Manny Diaz wants to talk about the level of competition in that, the team continues to compete and not give up and work hard and things of that nature. And while that's good, the performance isn't there. So, I mean, that's a good footnote, I guess. That's a good anecdotal story. But you're 3-4 and just lost to a team that lost to the Citadel at home and had not had an ACC win. And now beating you is going to be the foundation for them moving forward. No es bueno.
Matthew Gonzalez and everybody else who is encouraging people to hit the like button. Thank you so much.